Hello, my name is John Brooks, and today I'll be discussing the speech which I chose to recite. And this speech happens to come from the movie Rocky Balboa, and it comes from the scene where Rocky decides to give his son some advice on life and how to stay true to yourself and maneuver through life even when you're going through hard times. So, the reason that I chose this speech is because I feel like it's one of the most impactful and one of the most motivational speeches that has ever been in a movie. And I also feel as if this speech is very timeless and is one that people won't forget, and it's one that has made an impact on many people's lives that have watched the movie as well. So today I'll be going over the purpose of the speech and who the intended audience was. I'll also be discussing rhetorical strategies throughout the speech. Third, I'll be discussing the delivery technique of Rocky when he gave the speech to his son. And lastly, I'll just be discussing the overall effectiveness of this speech. So, when it comes to the purpose and audience of this speech, I feel as if the purpose of the speech is to motivate and inspire people when they're having a rough time in life to don't let anyone tell you any different and just remain true to yourself and keep going because you can never lose that way. You can only just see positive results and things could only look up from there. And for the intended audience, obviously, is Rocky's son because he's directly talking to him. But I also feel as if it's the audience watching the movie because they could take some tips and advice that Rocky offered his son in the movie and they can apply it to themselves in real life as well. So for the rhetorical strategies, the first one that I noticed is ethos because Rocky is a credible source when giving his speech because he's been through everything that he's trying to help his son through. So you can listen to him because he's kind of older, so he's already had his fair share of struggles and hardships in life. So another rhetorical strategy is pathos because he appealed to his son's emotion because he starts off the speech by giving some memories of his son when he was a baby and saying how he used to fit in the palm of his hand. And he also expresses the feelings which he had towards his son as a baby. And also towards the end of the speech, Rocky also says that he's always going to love his son because he's his son, he's his blood. And he goes to further say that he's the best thing that ever happened to his life when closing off his speech. Now, for the delivery technique, I believe that Rocky kind of used a serious and subtle tone so his son can understand that, like, it's a very serious topic and that life should be nothing to play with and that he should get right now and stop being so easily persuaded by people so he could end up being successful in life. And most importantly, so that he can have his own life and not just be a follower and follow other people. Now, for the overall effectiveness of this speech, I feel like this speech is very effective. One, because I feel like it opened up his son's eyes and made him take life more serious and become more aware of how he's acting and what's going on around him. And I feel like it made him get on a straight and narrow path. And not also for his son, but also for the audience, because I feel like many audience members were inspired and moved by this speech as well. So, like I said in the beginning, I chose this speech because I feel as if it's very inspirational and motivational to both the audience and his son within the movie. And also, this movie is one of my favorite movies, and I've watched it over at least 4 times. So, by me getting to recite this speech, it just makes me feel good and brings back many memories of me watching this movie with my dad. And overall, I feel like this speech was just very effective, impactful, and timeless. Thank you.